2,000 years later. 6.5 hours later. A few inches later. Day 2, day 3, day 4. A few moments later. 1 eternity later. 3 days later. 12 seconds later. 3:28 a.m. 3 weeks later. Many months later.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to
Show me your mean face. No, your mean face. Get grisly.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! It's Spider-Man! It's Spider-Man! Spider-Man! He's going.
He gave me the lady phone a gun.
Julian, why am I tied to a stick?
To trigger any explosives Carl might have set for me.
Oh yay! I'm a sacrifice!
There is no fury great enough for the amount of bullshit that I'm about to unleash upon the world!
Now why y'all worry about the fuck I do? I'ma let y'all know when the fuck I'm through. Like, bitch, they like the way I grind, they like the way I play.
Everybody's falling in love and I'm falling behind.
Fake, fuck that bitch, I pass it to my brody, yeah. Pump fake, pocket deal, pass it to my brody, yeah. Pump fake, I don't need no bitch, I got another one. Pump fake, I don't give a fuck, I got another, yeah.
Princess or queen, tomboy or king. You've heard a lot you've never seen. Mother Earth, Mother Mary, rise to the top. Divine feminine, I'm feminine.
Of course, so just walk straight out of the mall, turn left, go to the police precinct, and ask the same question there. They'll give you exactly what you need.
Oh, yikes! That one was worse than listening to people debate my gender.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Fazbear Entertainment would like you to put your hands together for the one, the only, Freddy Fazbear.
If romancing me with neons is something you should do, make the letters bright and luminous and blue, and get me waking up, shake it up, tangled up. You could think waking up, make
by saying something stupid like I love you.
Do you need help on making your first Dino mask? Then this is the video for you. We're first going to start by replacing the straps with thicker elastic. We're going to glue it in these areas, one going down and one across the top. Like so, when gluing, we are going to take our sharp tool like an X-Acto knife and score the plastic. It's important to do that as it makes it much stronger. It gives the glue something to grab onto. It should look something like this when finished. Next is the chin piece. I completely cut out the original and replace it with very thin EVA foam. Remember to score it around the mouth as well. It's great to make it the strongest as possible as this area gets a lot of stress. Don't be nervous to be generous with glue. This part will be covered later on. This is optional, but I like to add material to the mouth, usually matching with the gums. I recommend using Minky or similar materials. It will look something like this. Next we are going to make the ears. These are simple ears that are very easy. I recommend using a paper pattern as we can use it later for the first well. They are very blocky right now, but we're going to take scissors and carve it down. We also have to add a curve to the bottom in order for it to fit the mask, so it will look something like this after carving. This part is time consuming, but worth it. We are going to glue it to the top strap of the mask, and I personally add elastic to the middle, but it's not necessary. Part 2 will come tomorrow. Also, this tutorial was from my old account, but I thought people would appreciate me bringing it back here. I hope this helps. Hello, this is part 2 of a 4-part Fraying Your Dino mask tutorial. In this part we will be making the ears. If you still have that paper pattern from part 1, you can use that, or you can just tape the ears like so. Make sure to label for direction and color. After, you can carefully cut out the pattern and trace out the ears onto your desired fabric. Carefully cut it out. I recommend using an X-Acto knife as it avoids cutting the fur underneath. Once it's all cut out, it's ready to be sewn. You can hand sew, but having a machine definitely a quicker process. Try your best to push away all the fur that will be sticking out. It will make it much easier to sew and look better in the end. I use a straight stitch when machine sewing, but if you're hand sewing, use a blanket stitch. Now just make sure they fit over the foam, and now onto the rest of the hood. Welcome to part 3 out of 4 of my Dino mask tutorial. In this part we will be working on the hood. Now let's wrap the entire head in cling wrap. We will be taping over it. It is only necessary to tape one side, but in the video I did do the whole thing, but you do not have to. It should look something like this. This is an older video, so I do it slightly different now, but try and tape in smaller pieces, because if your pattern is not accurate, it will not turn out right. Just like the ears, you want to label for direction and color, then you can start cutting it out. I like to cut it as I go. I find that it makes it less confusing, but you can cut everything out at once if you prefer. I pin everything in place so I know what attaches to what, then I can start sewing everything out. Now I just need to sew the front onto the back of the hood. I usually do the front first, but it doesn't matter. Now we need to make the chin piece. If you still have that paper pattern, now would be a great time to use it. Now here is me putting the ears into the holes. I actually hand sew them on before putting them on the head. It may be a struggle to get the on ha-ha, but I prefer it to ladder stitching. In the next part we will be finishing off the head. All that's left is to glue it on, and I also made a mohawk for it. Welcome to part 4, the final part of making a Dino mask. Right here we have our pattern for a mohawk. I marked the order for direction and color to make it easier when cutting it out. I sewed the two halves, then combined them together. When sewing, I left a hole on the bottom to stuff it later. This mohawk will also be magnetic. With that hole that we left, once we stuff it, we will ladder stitch it back up. I recommend doubling up on magnets as it makes it stronger. I made the mistake of not doing that on this pre-made and it didn't stick as well as it should. I glue the magnets onto the elastic strap going down the head. Then I line up the mohawk to make sure I put the magnets in the exact place they need to be in order to sit in the right place. Then I just test fit it to make sure I did it correctly. Now it's time to put the hood on. Now I put the neck on first, then shove the ears into the right place. It will take a while to get the ears in there, but just don't give up. Now that everything is in place, it's time to start the process of gluing everything onto the mask. I don't do anything in a specific order, but just take your time gluing the edges. I'd be lying if I told you I never get frustrated and make mistakes. Make sure to not glue around the hinges. If you do, the jaw will be hard to move or not move at all. I also pushed some of the fur out to hide the raw edges, and like I said in one of the last parts, I do end up trimming that chin piece. It's better longer than shorter. Here's when it's done. I also show here where I don't glue by the hinges. I hope this tutorial has helped Somoni, or at least given you some tips. Thanks.